Also, I have neglected my YouTube channel. I've not made a video in a while. And I've not talked about narcissism and about any of that for a while either. And something happened a couple of days ago that kind of brought it all back, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this. A lady that I'm Facebook friends with had posted some little something, one of those little things that people share around on Facebook, and it was just saying, you can't trust your man around your friends or around women, but it turns out you can't trust him around the ugly girls. Well, I made a comment about that, and I guess the post got taken down, I don't know. But anyway, what I wanted to say about that is this. Narcissists don't discriminate based on looks. They don't discriminate based on someone's weight. They don't discriminate based on someone's eye color or hair color. They don't care about age. They don't care about now social standing and financial standing. They do care about, and they're not always go for the ones who have a larger group of friends, and they don't always go for the ones that have a lot of money. Now, a woman might, a gold digger type, Excuse me, I told y'all I got choked. But a lot of narcissists, most narcissists have this sense of they're better than everybody else. Now, if you have a partner and you want to build your partner up, when you take this new person, or even someone you're married to and have been with for a while, when you take them out around your friends and family to some gathering, ladies, how many of us, and I'm guilty of this myself, but how many, when you get ready to go out the door with your man, you go, you're not wearing those jeans, go back in there and get the ones I laid on the bed. You're not wearing that shirt. Are you going to wear those shoes? Because we kind of know what and it's not like normally we just let them wear whatever the heck they want to, but there are times when we want them to look nicer, and it's not just because we want to look like we want them to look nice for us, but we want other people to see them and respect them. We don't want people talking about them coming to some gathering with a t-shirt on or something, so we try to build them up. We want people to look at them as somebody that dresses nice, but a lot of narcissists don't. They want somebody who is frumpy. They want somebody who doesn't wear the nicest clothes. They want somebody who doesn't have as much money, because they can belittle that person, and they will eventually. In the beginning, they'll say, oh, I don't care about stuff like that. You don't make as much money, that doesn't bother me. And they'll say stuff like, it doesn't matter if you're a little overweight. I like a woman, this was my ex, I like a woman with a little meat on her bones. I don't want no skin and bone in bed, And, or they'll say the opposite. They'll say, I don't want a really overweight woman. I like a thinner woman, or man, whichever, But what I'm getting at is they build your confidence up. You may feel, your self-esteem may be low. You may be feeling bad because maybe your relationship with someone else ended, and you are feeling, this was the case with me. I was feeling like, oh, here I am, a woman in my 40s, finding myself alone, and I wasn't making a huge amount of money at the time, and he comes along and he's just like, everything's going to be okay, and he builds my confidence up. He builds my self-esteem up. He builds he gets me looking forward to the future, not feeling so stressed and worried. And then all of a sudden, he's like, well, That's what they do. They pick people who they know eventually they can pick apart. They pick people who they know. They build you up. They make you feel like everything's that you're just so great, Then all of a sudden they kind of start to chip away at that, And all the stuff you thought that they saw in you or that they overlooked in you, they start to tell you about, So that's what narcissists do. They don't, it's not just about you can't trust your man around the ugly girls. A narcissist, you can't trust around anybody, girl or guy. And I'm not suggesting that all narcissists are bisexual, but they don't discriminate. They will flirt. We've seen CMC flirt with women. How many times have we seen her flirt with other women? Some woman comes on, you're absolutely beautiful. You're absolutely gorgeous. And what about the one that came on and she's like, if I was a woman, then I'd go for it, It's one thing to build up a woman's confidence to say, I really appreciate you, or, whatever it might be, but it's a flirtation with a narcissist. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they are sexually attracted to that person. They just want that person to like them. They want that person to trust them. They want that person to come over to their side and be like, well, I don't see what everybody sees as so bad about this person. They're so nice and kind and generous and complimentary, complimenting me and making me feel good about myself. Why is so many people against this woman? She's so kind. Then she goes in their inbox, starts hitting them up for money or whatever else, Narcissists, they've got one thing in mind, and that is their end goal. Whatever it is, whether it's money, whether it's sex, whether it is a place to live, whether it is just someone to use and manipulate. If they're just bored, and they're just going to see what this person's all about and jerk them around. But I hadn't talked about this subject in a while, and when I saw that on Facebook, I said, people need to understand, narcissists will cheat. They don't care who it is. And it's not necessarily that they're going to go and get naked with these people. I mean, most of them probably will or would if the opportunity was there. But it's not even about that for them. They will tell you, you could come home you could go out and work 12 hours, come home, take a shower, fix your hair, do your makeup, do your nails, cook a lovely dinner and set the candles out on the table and everything just to please them. No matter how tired you are, no matter how much you really don't want to do this, you'll do this to please them. But they're going to find something wrong with it. They're going to find something wrong with the food. They're going to find something wrong with the candles. They're going to find something wrong with your hair. They're not in the mood. They just want to go and watch TV, or they just want to put their feet up and look at their cell phone, because it breaks you down. It makes you feel like they don't appreciate me. I've done all this for them and they don't appreciate it. Well, no, they don't appreciate it. Even if they were hungry, even if they were starving, they wouldn't eat the food, or they would nitpick over it. They might eat it, but they would find something wrong with it. That happened to me. I've told that story all on my YouTube channel. Narcissists they're all about themselves. They walk around with this mirror in their face all day long, looking the reflection of themselves and on top of their head. And all the thoughts inside of their head are about them. It's all about how How does this over here affect me? What can I get out of that over there? Am I going to go over here and talk to this person, and what am I going to try to take away from them? And at the same time that they're building your ego up and making you feel great, they're doing the same thing for themselves. Because you are seeing them as this great, kind, wonderful, sweet, loving, and you're saying that to them. You're saying, you're so sweet, you're so kind, you're so good looking, you're so whatever. And they're just like, yes, oh yes, it's so true. You know? And that's what they want, because after a while, the people that they have already dealt with has started to see through them. They've started to see the cracks in the mask. They've started to call them out on their lies and BS. So they gotta go find somebody else to do all that with all over again. And build their self-esteem, their pride in themselves, their I'm right, I'm perfect, I'm everything everybody could ever want. They got to build that back up in themselves and reinforce that, you know. And after a while, when that feeling kind of starts to wear off from this new person, they kind of start breaking them down. You're not giving me the attention that you used to give me. You know, you're not building my ego up. You're not as loving as I thought you were. You're not as good looking as I thought you were. You don't have a good a job as I thought you had. You know, and they just start to break you down, and they start to lie to you, and then they gaslight you and tell you that you're crazy. You call them out on some lie or some indiscrepancy or whatever, and they're like, you're crazy. You're crazy. That never happened. You're remembering everything wrong. You're so wrong. Or supermarket. You can be the most beautiful supermodel on the planet. You can be a billionaire, gazillionaire. Yeah, they'll use your money. Yeah, they'll show you off to their friends. They'll you know, stoke their own ego by taking this beautiful person out on the town, and they will hold your hand, and they'll lovingly kiss the back of your hand, and they'll lovingly stare into your eyes and tell you what a catch you are, how they can't believe this other person let you go. How did your ex stand to let you go? They're so stupid. Look at me. I'm everything is so great because look at me now. I have you, Miss Perfect or Mr. Perfect. There's this guy that I started watching when I first started watching YouTube about narcissism. You can go look him up if you want to. His channel is called Narcology Unscripted. His name is Dave, and he's very, very handsome. He's a very handsome man. Got the bluest eyes. I don't know if those are contacts or what, but he's got the bluest eyes. But he found this out later, and he started to see things going on. He started to just get this feeling about her, you know. So he kind of started to, and she just tells him she doesn't want to be with him anymore. He finds out that she's seeing somebody else. And when he finds out about this woman is already moving her belongings into this guy's house. She tells him that she doesn't, she wants to take a break, that she thinks that they shouldn't be together at the moment, and that let's take a break, Ross and Rachel. And she, in the meantime, she's telling him she needs a break, or that they need to take a little time apart. And during that, she's actually moving her belongings in with another man. And he finds out who this man is, and this man is like this older, balding, you know, I guess he was just not as good looking or something. And I guess that this Dave guy was just like, you know, but here's the thing about it. Narcissists downgrade. They downgrade every time that they get with somebody new. And I even look at my own self and say, well, was I a downgrade? Because when I learned about this downgrade thing, I was like, well, wait a second now, was I a downgrade? You know? But the thing about it is, it's not, the downgrade doesn't necessarily mean that you are less attractive or that you are not as special or whatever. It just means that you are a downgrade compared to the person before, in their eyes, in the narcissist's eyes. You're someone who might be a little bit more dependent on them. You're someone who isn't, who has emotional issues going on in your life. Maybe you've just ended a relationship. Maybe you're a widow or a widower, and they move in on you for the kill before you have time to really start to, like, heal, you know, and you're still in an emotionally, an emotional place. They might pick somebody who makes less money than the person before. They might pick somebody who's heavier or even thinner, or maybe somebody who doesn't have as good of a social standing. Maybe the person they were with before had a big network of friends. They want somebody who doesn't have that many friends, and they want to be able to isolate you from the friends that you do have. So they look for somebody that they know will be more dependent on them. They look for somebody that they know that they can emotionally and financially manipulate and physically manipulate, because they will very shortly into it start to either withhold sex. They will withhold affection. In the beginning, they'll be hugging you and holding your hand and kissing your neck, and they don't ever want to stop just, loving on you. And before long, they start to pull that away. They start to take that back. You'll reach for their hand, they'll put their hand under their, back or whatever. They don't give as much as they once gave. They don't give attention. They don't give their time. They will start to find other things that's more important they need to be doing. Well, I can't go with you over here to visit your family for the get-together or whatever, because I've got to go do this or that, and it's more important. And your family's all like, well, where's your partner? Where's your boyfriend or your girlfriend? Why didn't they come with you? And you have to make up an excuse, and you feel bad about it. But a narcissist does that on purpose. So the downgrade is not necessarily because you are not as pretty or as handsome or whatever. It's because they see you as less of a challenge and win over more quickly, and someone that's easier, that they figure will be easier to break down and to gaslight, But anyway, I just wanted to jump on here and talk a little bit about that. I haven't talked about this in a while. I know I was kind of pulling away from this whole subject because every time I talk about it, I bring him up and compare my story to, what's going on overall. But I just wanted to touch base with my YouTube channel and my followers and just say I'm sorry I haven't been around a whole lot lately, and hopefully, I can get the channel back up and maybe talk about some other subjects, relationship-wise or social stuff that's going on in the world. I'm not going to get into politics or anything like that. I don't discuss politics. I don't discuss religion. I don't discuss. Now, if it involves the narcissism aspect of it, then yes, I might. And I have probably talked about religion when it comes to narcissism. Because just like with anybody else, the narcissist will use their faith, or your faith. They'll use your faith because they don't have any faith. They can fake it. They can go sit in church and cross their legs and nod their head and praise the Lord and hold their hand up and, right along with the best of them. But they don't feel anything. They don't have no emotional recharge or anything from hearing the scripture. It doesn't mean anything to them. It's just like the one that we all talk about on Facebook, uses God, uses her. She's going to get right with the Lord. She's working on it now, guys. She's working on it. And she uses that at a time when things are not going so well in her life. It's a crutch. It's a crutch. Anytime she thinks that she might be facing some difficulties in life, anytime she thinks that maybe they've got her, maybe they've got her this time, she better go and put on her, and I would like to say that for most people, if you are facing jail time, if you're facing a loss of income or whatever, you do pray and you do feel like, you want to put your faith in God and you want to connect on that level. She must hear a CAT. Sometimes she barks when there's a CAT outdoors, or when there's a person coming up. But I'm going to wrap this video up. I just wanted to come on here and say that, because when I made that comment on that post the other day, I hope I didn't offend anybody, because I did say, this person that you're talking about, they're not chasing after another woman because they're into ugly people. They're doing it because they're a narcissist, and the narcissist doesn't, they look at the person's face, and they don't necessarily see the same face that we all see. They see a face, they're looking for something in that person's face. They're looking for loss, they're looking for vulnerability, they're looking for someone who has a sadness, or someone who, and here's something along the lines of looks that I will say, many narcissists will choose somebody who is not as attractive, and they'll build that person's attractiveness up, and they'll tell them how great looking they are and special they are, and then they can break them down and make them feel awful about themselves, worse than they felt prior. Or they'll pick somebody, and this is something a lot of people can't wrap their mind around, because most people, we're brought up, I apologize for my dog, but we're brought up to find overweight people unattractive. We hear it all of our lives from the time we're kids. Chubby, fatty 2x4, and stuff like that. So as kids, we're brought up to discriminate against people who are overweight. So when we see a really good looking man or woman and they are dating someone heavier, we're kind of like, what does she see in him, or what does he see in her? But and I'm not saying that just because someone is overweight that the person that's with them is a narcissist. But narcissists will often choose people like this, and they will choose people who are very overweight. They'll choose people that are like on Dr. Nalzarden, they'll choose people that they know can't come running after them when they're out doing their thing. They know right where they're at because they're stuck at home. They'll choose people like that. They'll choose people who are not as attractive, because they'll say, and then they'll turn to the good-looking ex, And they'll say, well, they were more willing, they were more caring, they were more attentive to my needs than you were. You were too busy doing your hair and your makeup. They'll make you feel even worse about yourself because they'll start to date somebody who you see as less attractive. You see as someone who you can't understand what they see in that person. And it makes you feel even worse about yourself. And the narcissist wins again. Because they're winning on both ends. They've got somebody over here that they know is kind of like feeling self-esteem issues, and they're going to do everything they can to keep that person. They know how hard it is to get a partner, so they're going to do everything it takes to keep them. They're going to kiss the butt of the narcissist, and the narcissist is going to have them crawling. They're going to have them reeling, trying to figure out how to make them happy. But nothing ever makes a narcissist happy. Just like she said that one day, this car could be full of money and I still wouldn't be happy. Because the narcissist is only happy in a moment. It's a momentary joy. It's like, I don't know. It's like a snap. They're happy for that moment. It's like when people send her these star parties and she's like, what? Oh my gosh, guys. And that feeling goes away in a matter of seconds or a minute. It passes. Then she's got to get another one. She's got to get more stars because the rush is wearing off. And that's what happens with a narcissist when they're with anything. She's a narcissist, of course, so that's one reason why she does that. She wants more and more. She wants those people to see her as someone who deserves these stars, because she does, guys. She's a good person. All narcissists are good persons in their little mirror, that they hold up to their face all day. And they reinforce their own chant to their own self. I'm a good person. But they're really not. They're horrible people. They're horrible. And I appreciate y'all for listening. And I'm going to jump off of here. And everybody have a great day.